Welcome back to my podcast of I don't know what I'm doing. So, I got like a decent amount of reviews from the first episode, and honestly, they were pretty positive, and I was shocked. I was like, wow, people actually like me. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. Like, I'm genuinely thankful that you guys really enjoyed my podcast. Um, I'm glad that I was able to relate to you guys. I was able to like be somewhat reasonable about what's going on in life and like how things are working for me, and I'm glad that you guys were able to like be like, yeah, that's happening to me too, cuz sometimes you feel very alone, or at least I do, when I'm going through things. But honestly, since then, life has gotten a little bit easier. I've learned to adjust to living alone and like just being a person. I'm still struggling, like, don't get me wrong, like, I'm still having a fucking hard ass time. But at least now I'm like kind of getting it together. I mean, one of the main things that was happening was just like I was going through a lot. I was like going through a breakup, and like I was also like trying to maintain like taking care of myself because I was having a really fucking hard time taking care of myself because saving money is like so important to you taking care of yourself, and then like maintaining your health and like just eating well and like regularly exercising and going to the gym is just like something that you have to do. You have to do it. Like, I don't care who you are, I don't care where you're from, you have to exercise in some kind of way. You have to give yourself like some type of routine when it comes to like taking care of your body, because if you don't, your body's gonna fail you and it's gonna fucking make you feel terrible, because literally that happens every single time. Like every single fucking time you like stop taking care of yourself, you just feel like shit and you're like, what's going on? Then you get all depressed and you get into a weird mood, and then like everything just kind of like falls apart when you've been building it for so long. So I told myself like, you need to get it together, bitch. Life happens. Life gets hard, but pick yourself up and get your shit together. And now I'm like trying to get it together. Like, I'm not gonna say it's together because it's fucking not, but like it's in the process of like getting better, like that's all I got. That's all I got. But yeah, like for the video, you can see that I have a new setup. Like, I don't know if this is gonna be a permanent setup. I'm not 100% sure. I got some like LED lights going on. Right now it's blue. I'm not really sure if I like it. I gotta see, just because like I'm brown, and like brown skin sometimes like comes up crazy under lights if you don't have like an extra bright light to like backlight you or like front light you or side light you. So this is my setup for this week. I don't really know if I'm gonna keep it. I might keep it and like fix it up a little bit more because I feel like it's cute. I like the color. I'm just not sure if it's gonna like translate well on YouTube when I post it. So I'm gonna figure that out, and then I will, I guess, like do it in the next episode if it's needed, or just change the fucking color, because like blue is supposed to look good on dark skin, but like I guess like darker skin, I'm not like dark. So I feel like because my skin tone is like a little bit lighter, it's not making me look magical and like beautiful, But like if my skin was darker, I'd be looking fucking fabulous right now under this light. But right now I looked a little washed out. I'm not really sure. Like, it's fucking weird. Like, I don't know. Let me know if it looks okay. I'm not really fucking sure, but maybe I should change it. I might change the light color. Let me see. Let's see. Let's see if I can change it. Maybe I'll change it to pink. I have on like a pink sweater, so I'm thinking pink might be better. Oh my gosh, these fucking ads. Let's see. If not, I'm gonna turn it back to blue. I don't know if I like the pink. Maybe. I'm not sure if I'm really feeling the pink. I think I might maybe make it a little bit lighter blue. No, the lighter blue is actually. I don't really know. I'm not sure. Let's try green. No, I'm gonna do blue. I'm gonna keep it at blue. It's fine. Like, it's coming up a little crazy right now, but it's fine. I'll just like fucking figure it out later. Like, I'm not too worried about what the fuck's going on right now. But yeah, welcome to episode 2. Today I'm going to be talking about mental health and aging, because within the past week I've really been having an existential like crisis because I'm turning 30. And because I went through a breakup and I'm currently like in a weird place right now, like I need to go back to therapy, and my therapist is gone for 2 fucking months. Like, who the fuck goes away for 2 months? Like, what kind of therapist does that? Like, I fucking love her, but I'm just like, why would you do that? Like, why would you leave me? Like, I don't understand. But she didn't know, like, right? She didn't know that I was gonna go through this. I actually haven't seen her in a couple of months, so it's just like, what are the odds that when I need her the most, she is not here. She is gone from November to January, which is fucking insane. But you know what? People have lives outside of their jobs. So I'm not even mad. I can't be mad. But yeah, so that's what's gonna be talked about in today's episode. Let me just hit my vape really quick, and then we can get this conversation going. So, I'm turning 30 in January, in the beginning of January. And I noticed that I've been regressing in a lot of ways. And I think that comes with aging for anyone. Like, I think the older you get, the more you think about your childhood and the more you think about the things that you used to love and you used to enjoy, because the world ends up changing in such a drastic way that all the things that you grew up like experiencing and loving ends up like fucking getting like exterminated. Like, it's fucking crazy. Like, I think about so many things that I grew up with as a kid, like snacks, shows, like places, and like a lot of it's fucking gone. Like, it's crazy. If you grew up in New Jersey and specifically grew up in Jersey City, you know that there was a fucking mall called Hudson Mall that had a fucking arcade in it. And that shit was fucking lit. Like, when we were kids, going there was like the best thing you could do as a kid. Like, outside of like going like to the park and stuff. But like when you were inside, if you were an inside kid and you liked playing video games, the fucking arcade in Hudson Mall was so fucking lit. Like, I can't believe that kids nowadays don't get to experience that. Like, it's really fucking sad. And like the closest thing we have to it now is a barcade, and kids first of all can't fucking go there. I mean, no, I don't think they can, because I was like, sometimes they let kids into like bars, but like, nah, not that. That's like they card you at the door. But like, yeah, barcade is like literally the only thing that I can think of that you can like kind of get close to experiencing something similar, and kids aren't able to experience that, and that's really fucking sad, because arcades were like a way to bring kids together. I like was talking to my ex about this, but when we used to go to that arcade, like we used to be able to like bond with people. Like, I know this sounds fucking weird, but like when I was a kid, I would bond with like anyone who was there. So there'd be like adults there, and because I was like kind of decent as a kid, especially as a girl, like at video games, like some of the older people would be like, yo, like you're pretty good, and like there would be like a bond there. Like, there was something like cool about being like complimented by someone older, and it wasn't in a creepy way, it was just in a genuine like gamer way. Like, bro, like I respect you because you're fucking a child and you're a girl and you're fucking decent at this fucking video game, you know? Like, that was fucking lit. Like, and then I'd meet other kids who like also were into the same things as me, because if you were there, like you guys had something in common. So it was just really like a fun time, and it makes me so sad that there's nothing, as far as I know, there's nothing close to that. I think like in New Jersey there's like the American Dream Mall. I've never been there, but I know that there's like a ton of shit to do there, but it's also like, I don't know, like from what I've heard, it's like a huge like funplex in the middle, in the center, and then there's fucking like stores and stuff everywhere. Like it's right in the middle of the mall, from what I heard. I don't really know because I've never been there, but that just doesn't sound the same. Like when you went into Hudson Mall, it was like in a corner. You like had to walk and you anticipated going. Like, you know, there was like a whole vibe. And then right across from it was the movie theater, which is not there anymore. And it's fucking sad. Like, so fucking sad. That was another thing too. Like, you had the fucking arcade, and then right across you had the movie theater, and that movie theater was so ghetto, but it was just like a bonding place. Like they even had video games in the movie theater too. That was just like, it was such a nice time. Like I'm so sad. And then like if you went down, like further down on the strip, there was a Toys R Us. That Toys R Us is not there anymore either. Like I'm so fucking devastated that all of the things that I've enjoyed as a kid are like just diminishing. Like it's so fucking, I can't even think about it sometimes because it makes me so depressed. Like I don't know. And I'm sure like our parents feel the same way, and our grandparents have felt the same way as well. It's just very crazy to experience this. I think I'm having a hard time accepting that things are ceasing to exist that were in my childhood. I thought about like the snacks and stuff that we used to have, like Fun Dip. I'm pretty sure Fun Dip still exists, but I have not seen it in years. I have not. Like Kid Cuisine still exists, but I heard it's not the same. Lunchables still exists, but I heard it's not the same. We used to have 3D Doritos, and that came back, but I've had them recently and it's not the same. Even when the stuff that we had as kids like is either like it stayed or it came back, like it's not the same. It tastes different, like the manufacturing is different. It's just like so crazy because like nothing sustains from childhood as far as I can like remember. Even my relationships with friends and family, like they change, you know? So it's just like everything changes. Even the things that you feel like were so like permanent and so like glued to like staying in this world fucking just goes away. And that's so sad to me. I can't. So I've been regressing, thinking about it, having to accept it because I have no control over these things. And I've really been looking into just like doing things that I used to love as a child. Like I wanted to start like just gathering things. Like I went to paint like a sculpture a couple of weeks ago, and it just reminded me of when I used to paint as a kid, like when you would paint in like kindergarten or first grade or something. And it made me think like, why am I not like doing things that I love? Like I used to love doing a lot of things as a kid, and I think life got in the way, you know, hormones got in the way. Like as soon as I started liking people, it just kind of like was pushed to the side, the things that I genuinely loved. Like some of them I kept, but a lot of them do get in the way when you get older, because now you have to worry about a job and you have to worry about, you know, being with someone if you're into that, or just like figuring out your life and figuring out how you're going to be when you get older. So it just like, it changed a lot of things for me. So now that I'm like getting older, I'm just trying to figure out the things that I used to really enjoy as a child, and I'm trying to like maintain getting that back to some extent. So yeah, I went painting. It was really nice. I got like a little sculpture. I'll like insert like a picture or something if I can of the sculpture. it was like two penguins. It was so cute. I painted them, and then they got glazed, and it was nice. It was like such a cute little like activity to do by myself. I went by myself. It was so nice. I mean, it was kind of crazy though, because when I went I went, right? It was empty. It was like a Friday in like the afternoon. It was empty. Like no one was there but me and the workers. And I was like, oh, this is so peaceful. It's so quiet. Then like a group of like 12 people came in, and they were so like loud, so like just like not understanding that you should like be considerate of others. And the guy came in, I guess there was one guy, he seemed young, like younger than me for sure. And he seemed like he was paying for everyone, because that's what he pretty much said. And he was trying to get discounts from like the workers. I was just like, ugh, you're so entitled. Like, you decided to come with like 12 people. Why would you expect them to give you a discount because you're bringing in 12 people? That was your choice. Because you can't afford to spend that much, it shouldn't be on them to give you a discount. Because if they can't give you a discount, are you gonna fucking flip out or something? You know, it just was not cool. But yeah, that happened, and I was just like, ugh. Like, sometimes I really wish that I could just like do things and like have control over whether like other people interact with me while I'm doing those things or other people are around. But it was peaceful before I went, so I think if I go back, I'm definitely gonna go at like a regular time, because like during the day on like a weekday, because I just do not want to experience that. Like, it was just like not cool. I was like so at peace, you know, and then all of a sudden my peace got like taken away because a whole bunch of people wanted to be at a place, and they were just like complaining about it being expensive, and I was just like, oh my gosh, like if you guys aren't even really paying for it, so like why are you guys like making it such a big deal? Like, really, like walking around be like, this is too much money, and I'm just like, then leave. It's that simple. I hate when people do that. I hate when people come into places and maybe they didn't know the prices, so they're not sure what to anticipate. But they turn around and just like complain and complain and complain, and then proceed to like interact with what they were just complaining about. It's just like be a person, and like, yeah, sure, it's expensive. I understand that. You can express that, but like don't keep going on and on about it. Like, yes, we understand things cost money, and like it's not fair that things are expensive sometimes, and some things are overpriced, and it's just like, chill out, you know? Sometimes it's not worth complaining about consistently. Like, complain once and then move on, you know what I mean? But I did that, and that was really peaceful. I'm thinking about getting a Build-A-Bear because I really want one. I've always wanted one as a kid. Because my parents, like, you know, they were working class people. They couldn't afford to get me and my brothers like expensive things all the time. Like, a Build-A-Bear was not something I wanted. They would ask me what I wanted for Christmas. That was not something I wanted. I got video games for Christmas for the most part because, you know, I wanted a console. I wanted to play video games. I didn't want a fucking teddy bear that cost almost like half of that, you know? So I really want to Build-A-Bear because I've always wanted one. And I remember seeing the Build-A-Bear commercial where the little girl was like singing, and then she like pressed the button on the teddy bear and then he would dance. That was dope when I was a kid, and I was like, oh my gosh, I want one so bad. But I never got one, so I think I'm gonna get one. And I saw this video on Instagram today. Apparently you can like record, like voice record like a message on a Build-A-Bear and then put it in the Build-A-Bear. I did not know that. I don't know if I'm gonna do that, just because like that's a little creepy. That doesn't seem like something I would enjoy. I don't want to hear my voice when I'm like hanging out with my teddy bear, you know, like I think that would be fucking weird. I'm not gonna lie to you. So I don't think I'm gonna do that, but I'm definitely gonna like start doing little things. I went to Cheesecake Factory. I never went there as a kid, but I've always heard about it, like growing up, like I think in my teenage years. So I went there once, but I don't remember like it was such a long time ago. I genuinely don't remember. So I'm definitely, I went to that and I like kind of enjoyed it. It was cool. Like the food is like giving Applebee's, you know? Like it's cool. It's a restaurant chain. You get what you get. The pasta was pretty decent. It was pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, I went to that and I think I'm just gonna consistently find different things. Like really like sit with myself and think about the things that I enjoyed as a kid and find things that I can afford to do and do them. Because why not? You know, like I miss my youth sometimes. I'm not even that old, but I'm getting older and I do miss it. I miss certain things. I miss the joy and the innocence, but you know, that changes with time always. I miss like I wasn't a confident kid, but I do miss being mm, innocent enough to try things, you know, without worrying about making mistakes. Like I would be afraid, I'd be horrified of making mistakes, but like I still wasn't like, oh, this isn't gonna happen, you know, like I was pessimistic as a kid, but I was also like hopeful because I was a very innocent kid for a while. I didn't really lose my innocence until like maybe 10, and not in that way, not in like a sexual way, just more in like a knowing too much for my own good way. And I wish it would have lasted a little bit longer, but I was innocent in other things like growing up, like past 10. And I think that's something that I really admire and miss about myself is just like going into things wide-eyed and not being afraid to a certain extent of what's going to happen. And if something happens, I'm going to have a breakdown and move past it. But I don't know. I think like that kind of like dies when you get older just because I feel like it's hard to keep hope and like joy all the time like you were as a kid because I don't know, kids have less to worry about. You know, all they have to worry about is just like being a kid. Like, and if they have a solid foundation, they really don't have to worry about much. If they have a safe environment, they really don't have to worry about much. So I just want to get back to that and try to find the joys in different things in life, the joys in the little things, things that I haven't really been able to appreciate for a while. So that's where I'm at with regressing, you know. Also, I noticed I'm going back into my emo phase for sure, like almost 100%. Like I was pretty emo between the ages of like 16ish, 17ish to maybe 19. I was like, I had bangs, you know, I was quoting emo shit. I was listening to Paramore and My Chemical Romance and shit like that. Yeah. It was a time. It was a time. I really tried to find black in so many things. Oh fuck, there's like a mosquito. There's a fucking mosquito. It's so fucking big. The mosquitoes over here are huge. But fuck. Oh, alright. I'm not gonna get it. It like disappeared anyways, but fuck me. I just hope it doesn't bite me. But yeah, I'm trying to go back into that. Not intentionally. I think I'm trying to go back into like the feeling of it all. Not the like sadness, but like there was a community there, and like also I'm like a sad girl, like to a certain extent. I like being sad. I know some people genuinely hate being sad, and I know some people think that liking to be sad is like a problem, but I do enjoy my sadness. I don't have a problem with my sadness. I actually would prefer being sad most of the time, but I can't. So, because it'll stop me from doing a lot of things. So, yeah, I'm trying to maintain going back into my emo phase as a person, but it not ever being a phase. It was just like who I am. So, yeah, I'm listening to a lot of old stuff that I used to enjoy as a kid. And I think I'm trying to modernize it to like who I am now because I don't want to go back to that place. It was not the best place for me. It was a pretty dark place for me. But I think now I'm trying to bring the light of who I am now to the emo-ness of what I used to be and what I kind of still am now. And I didn't realize I was like permanently emo until like I just like thought about people that I've interacted with and things that people have said to me, and I was like, and things that I've listened to, things that I enjoy, and I was like, oh shit, I'm like kind of emo. I guess I didn't realize it because like I don't like wallow in sadness as much as I used to, and I don't like wear black all the time anymore. I'm just like a pixie emo to a certain extent, and it's fucking weird, but apparently according to what people tell me. But yeah, that's what it is. And I'm trying to have a good time while doing it. So yeah, that's a part of my regression too. I mean, I'm really like trying to make sure that my regression doesn't affect my mental health because, you know, mental health is really fucking important to keep like positive and keep like upkeeping. I don't know how to stress this enough, but if you can afford to go to therapy, please do. Please do. Please. Like, you don't even have to go all the time. You know, you can go once in a blue. I haven't gone and seen my therapist in months, but I go and see her when I need to. You know, when I'm having an issue, when I'm going through something, I will go and see my therapist because I know she knows me, first of all. She does a great job at asking me questions and helping me find goals. And I know that it's important, you know, even if you have people to talk to. I tell people this all the time, like your friends, your family, your peers, whoever you have in your life who you can tell things to, sure, that's a great outlet. I'm glad that you have that. I think that's important to have. But I think talking to someone who is able to aid you professionally is such a necessity because first off, they're not coming from a biased place. Your friends, your family, anyone you know, they're somewhat coming from a biased place, regardless of if they say that they're not. They are, because they care about you. They love you. If they're willing to listen to you, there's some significance you have in their lives, you know? And a therapist does not have any of that. So there's a lack of, you know, opinion when it comes to them giving you the best advice. Also, the thing about therapists is they really help you with goal oriented things to do. Like with my therapist, if I tell her like I'm not feeling the best, she'll tell me, "Oh, write down a list of things, maybe like 10 things that you really enjoy about yourself, you know? Like let me know what you genuinely enjoy about yourself." And there have been times when I've struggled with even 10, you know, and when she finds out that I'm struggling with 10, she goes, "Okay, so why are you struggling? Like what's going on?" You know, she really like digs deep. I think therapists dig deep in a way that the average person, whether they care about you or not, is not going to do. You know, like they ask you questions that like you just wouldn't expect to be asked, and it really makes you think. There have been so many times that I've just been like, "Oh shit, like I didn't even think about that. That's so crazy. Like no one's ever asked me that." Or like I've never even sat with myself and like really dug deep about that. You know, it's so interesting that all a therapist has to do is just like ask you like a few questions, and they go into something that you've never even tapped into, or you did tap into but you totally forgot about, you know? So I really do think that therapy is important. If you can afford it with insurance, use insurance. If you don't have insurance, I use BetterHelp. I do have insurance, but I use BetterHelp because I started BetterHelp before I got insurance. And it's really like a great platform. Like you have so many, like the questionnaire, you have so many options as to what you recommend for yourself, like what you want for yourself, like the criteria that they ask for you. They give you a questionnaire about like what you prefer. Like, do you prefer someone who's religious? Do you prefer someone who's not? Do you prefer someone who's a person of color? Do you prefer Oh, sorry, my camera stopped. But do you prefer, you know, like a specific gender, like all of these things, you know, like what do you identify as, like tons of stuff. They will go into everything that you need from someone who's a professional, and like go out of their way to like really make sure that you have the goals that you want, and like you achieve them, you know. Because like one of my first sessions, my therapist asked me like, what do you want from therapy, you know? And I knew that I wanted to be like clearer and understanding certain things about myself and about my experiences in my life, you know, my family stuff and stuff like that. So she helped me get to that point, you know. She helped me realize that there are certain things that I need to acknowledge and I really need to focus on in order to like heal from. So I don't know. And she's cool as hell. Like, I got someone who was about I want to say late 30s, early 40s. I'm not really sure. I'm just guessing. But she's cool as fuck. Like, I love her. She's a black woman because that's what I preferred. She's a Christian woman because that's what I preferred. But she's modern. She's not like super pushy religious wise. And she's also not like careless religious wise, you know? She has a mindset that I agree with. She has a mindset that I can communicate with. And she works very well with me. Very well. She'll tell me things that I don't want to hear, but I'm like, she's right, you know? Like, she's really right, and she's making me think about this, and this is something that I need to hear, you know? So, I don't know. I recommend BetterHelp. I think I could, like, put a link somewhere in my YouTube channel to like give like a discount or something. I'm gonna look into that, but I think when you do have a BetterHelp account, you can recommend friends and they get a discount. So if I can find a discount, I'll put it in my YouTube channel on this video when I post it. I'll put it in the little text box under the video, and I'll let you guys know if you can get some type of discount with it. Oh fuck, that's my fucking hair. But yeah, like they also if you can't afford like the full price, you can also apply for financial aid. Like they have financial aid. You just put in your income and they'll give you a discount based off of your income, you know? It's fucking lit. Like, I don't know. I love it. I think it's a great platform for people to use. I think it's very important that people have affordable mental health care, because life is getting harder. Things are getting harder, and people aren't focusing on themselves as much as they used to, you know, because of the state of the world and because of everything that's happening, you know, the economy, everything. And I really just like find it crazy that the world expects us to fucking focus on ourselves while all this shit is happening, and then like at the same time we can't even afford to make enough to like take care of ourselves. It's just really fucking insane to me. I don't know. It like concerns me how much the world gives humans as individuals, at least in America, like the responsibility of like relying on themselves. You know, like we don't have a really huge source of community in America, and it's fucking horrifying. Like I think about other countries and I think about how they handle things and how they treat their citizens, and a lot of the time, a lot of the countries treat their citizens like a community based, you know, type of environment. It's not really individualism. There's a lot of individualism in America to our detriment, to be honest. Like I think individualism is important. I think it's a necessity to a certain extent, but I don't think it should be happening on the level that it's happening right now. I feel like the scale of individualism in America is like disheartening, and it's harming people more than it's helping people. I genuinely feel like if we became a community-based country, a lot of things would be established and like created that would benefit us way more, that would benefit the country way more, and like the working class and the average person would not have to struggle as much as they do. It just really fucking sucks that we just have to accept it, or we can move to another country. But you know, that's not easy to like fucking get up and leave. Like, I hate when people say, oh, you should just leave then. Like, no, bitch. Like, can you just get up and leave? And if you can, good for you. How the fuck did you get to that point? You know, like, it's not that simple. Like, sometimes people have to work towards getting to that point. Or sometimes people aren't always safe to go anywhere else, you know? I think about that as a person of color. Like, I always think about like, hey, I want to move somewhere, or I want to leave and go to another country and like visit another country or something, and I really am like cautious because, you know, like I want to be somewhere where people look like me. I think that's important, to surround yourself in an environment where there are people who look like you, like a decent amount. Like, it don't have to be everyone, but it has to be like at least a good amount of people that look like you, because if you're in an area where no one looks like you, what is that gonna do, you know? Like, I hear about racism happening in other countries all the fucking time. So to just tell someone, oh, you should just get up and leave if you really don't like it here, like, good for you. It sounds like you're coming from a place of like privilege, because how the fuck do you expect anyone to just like fucking get up and leave? Like, come on, bitch. That's fucking crazy. But yeah, like, I genuinely recommend going to therapy. I mean, I started going to therapy just because, like, I mean, I went to therapy like multiple times, like, within the past, like, couple of years. But I started going to therapy, like, recently just because, like I said, the state of the world is, like, really intense. And I've been having a lot of anxiety because of it. And also, seasonal depression is real as fuck. Like, it's hitting, bitch. It's hitting stronger than it's hit in the past couple of years. I don't know about y'all, but seasonal depression be fucking hitting some days, and I'm just fucking stressed about it. But I went because, yeah, I was having, like, anxiety. That's, like, probably the main thing I was having, was just, like, severe anxiety. Like, not really sure where it was coming from, not really sure why it was happening. And then I thought about, like, my childhood, and I thought about, like, what the fuck was going on, because that was the main reason why I went to therapy, was because I was suffering from, like, severe anxiety, and I didn't understand why. Because, you know, like, everyone's like, oh, I got anxiety. Like, everybody has anxiety, right? Like, it's not unique to me, you know? So for me, I was like, oh yeah, I have anxiety. It's not a big deal. Like, everybody has anxiety. Everyone moves through the motions of having anxiety, and then they're fine the next day. And then there are days when I'm just like fucking fine. Like, I don't have anxiety, not a big deal. So I didn't think it was a big deal until my ex was like, maybe you should talk to someone about your anxiety. And I was like, maybe I should talk to someone about my anxiety, because it was getting to the point where it was kind of crippling, in a sense where, you know, I didn't want to leave the house, or I didn't want to do anything. I didn't want to talk to anybody. And I do think that COVID made it, like, heavier as, like, a thing that was happening to me, because, you know, during COVID, we weren't able to see people as often. Like, I wasn't going out all the time like some people were. I would see people sometimes because that was the right thing to do. So I didn't really interact with many people during that time. So it just put me in a mindset. What the fuck am I saying? Like, a certain state of mind that just, like, made me not want to interact with anyone, you know? Like, not many people, at least. And, like, trying to do new things and trying to push myself was, like, really difficult after the fact, and even, like, during COVID. So I think it got worse during COVID, which is crazy, because I ended up getting a job during COVID. Like, and I've always been in customer service, so it's not like I've never, like, had experiences where I've interacted with people. Like, most of my jobs were customer service jobs. Like, I was always talking to people. I was always interacting with people. So I did find it strange that, like, my anxiety got worse after COVID. And I think it was just, like, I think this ties into me aging. Like, I think I was getting older and I was at my parents' place, and it was putting me in a state of like panic because I felt like what I was doing wasn't enough, you know? And I know a lot of people feel this way. I know a lot of people feel like a failure, or they feel like, you know, I should be at a better place now. Like, at my age, I should be at a better place with my life. I should be, you know, put in this place where I'm able to like not only help myself but help others. I should have that, you know, especially millennials. I feel like millennials are in a state of like why aren't we like rich and famous yet? You know, like why aren't we like wealthy yet? Like tons of us are trying to figure that out, cuz you know, you got tons of Gen Zers who are just like doing amazing, and I think that's fucking awesome. And you know, there's millennials who are also doing great for themselves, and I think that's fucking lit too. But I know tons of people, including myself, who are just like, I thought I would be at a better place now, you know? And I think that got to me like within the past year because I just felt stuck. And I think everyone feels stuck to a certain extent at certain points in their lives. And it's really hard to really navigate why you feel stuck and navigate like where things went wrong and how to fix things. You know, you just like kind of feel stuck. You like feel stuck in like all ways. So it took a toll on me between like knowing that I had to get my shit together and then knowing that I wasn't in a place where I wanted to be. It just like made me start, and the state of the world was getting worse, and it made me panic. Like, I can't tell you how much my parents were like on my ass about interacting with people and like just being outside. Like, I would be outside when no one else was outside, and they would freak the fuck out, especially my mom. Like, if I interacted with someone, she was just like, "Oh, like, what are you doing?" You know, like, and that like really forces anxiety on someone without them realizing it. And it started to tap into things that I developed as a kid, because I've always had anxiety even as a child, but it got worse, you know, within the past year. And I was always like, it always hindered me to a certain extent, but never so severely as it did within the past year. And that's when I was like, I need to talk to a therapist about this, because I feel like I've been trying to handle it myself. I've talked to other people, I've talked to my friends about it. And, you know, they give me advice, but, you know, it's not enough to like help me fix it. So I did. I went to therapy, and I started to realize that my anxiety was just because I was feeling guilty about having anxiety. I was feeling guilty at the fact that I was claiming that I had something wrong with me, but like, and I wasn't, and it was making me not do as much as I should be doing. But then, you know, like, if you grow up in a household that's strict, especially brown parents, they kind of make you like, they kind of tell you like, why are you like dealing with this? Like, it's not that serious, you know? Like, that's a very common thing culturally. And it kind of took a toll on me because I was like, I'm not in a situation, like, I'm not in a domestic violence situation right now. I'm not in like a crazy situation. Like, I don't feel like I'm gonna like harm myself in any type of way. I just feel out of control and I don't know what to do, and it's really heavy. It's like really weighing down on me. I didn't think that I would need to go to therapy because of that. I just thought like, you know, just get it together, because that's what you're told. That's at least what I was told as a kid, is like, you need to get it together. You know, there was no gentleness in how I grew up. There was a lot of kind of like strict, like straightforward, just like get it together, figure it out type of thing, you know, like growing up. There were tender moments. I will say that my parents tried to be soft and tender in the ways that they could. But I think they had a hard time doing that because they didn't experience that either themselves. So, and I'm the only girl out of my family, like my main family. And I think my parents had a really hard time understanding that. Fuck. Do you hear that? It's my fucking heater. It's gonna keep going off. Like, it's just gonna happen. Like, it's fine. I don't know. Like, I'm not gonna edit this out. I'm just gonna let it be because I'm talking about something serious and I can't even fucking take myself seriously because of this fucking shit. But, but yeah, like, it really sucks. And I think because I'm a girl and because my parents didn't know how to handle girls, like, they had my older brother and then they had me and then they had my younger brother. I just feel like they didn't know how to be tender with me. Like, I think they should have been tender with my brothers as well. But especially me, because, like, you know, the world teaches women to be a certain way, you know? And I don't think there's anything wrong with being sensitive and, like, being, like, gentle and being feminine. I don't think there's anything wrong with men being that way either. But I do think that when you teach someone to be just the opposite of that and you don't give them the leeway to be gentle or tender or any of those things, it really hardens how people deal with things. It hardened how I handle things mental health wise, you know. I felt like I could fix everything myself, and the older I'm getting, the more I'm realizing that I'm not in control of anything and that I can't fix most things by myself. I can try to fix, like, the regular stuff, like, you know, getting a job or, like, maintaining working and, like, maintaining my home and taking care of myself by eating well. But I can't maintain, like, deep-rooted shit. Like, I actually need to, like, resolve that professionally. I can't always fix things myself. So the anxiety got severe and I was like, this is it. Like, I need to go back to therapy. Because I went back to therapy for some other stuff that was, like, really bad, like, years before that. And I was like, I don't need it anymore. That time is gone. No need to go back to therapy. I'm fine now. Like, it's gone. All of that doesn't exist anymore in my life. And then, like, something came and was like, hey, I think you need to go back to therapy. Like, and I was like, what are the fucking odds, you know? So I ended up finding out that I'm having, like, I have, like, a anxiety disorder. Like, it's not even, like, serious. I know this sounds serious, but it really isn't. It was just, like, I think my anxiety disorder is, like, manageable. I don't think it's so severe that I need to be medicated, but they did recommend something to me, and I was like, ugh. So I took it, like, once or twice, and it helped, but then I was like, I don't want to take this anymore, because, like, I'm really, 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 really against, like, taking things that will alter my brain chemistry. It's scary. I don't want to do that, just because I don't know the long-term effects of what that's gonna do to me, and I'm really sensitive. Like, my body's really sensitive to, like, anything. Like, I barely take Tylenol, I barely take Advil. I will if I have to, because, you know, sometimes you need that stuff. Just like sometimes I needed to take that medication, but I won't do anything consistently because, I don't know, like, time and time again, I've noticed that, like, the chemicals that they put in these things is really, like, affecting me in a negative way. It's not really helping me as much as it should. So I ended up changing that, and I took it for a couple of days, a couple of times, and it really did help. It really did help. It, like, chilled me the fuck out. Like, you know, it made me feel amazing. I was fucking lit, you know, because I was having a really fucking hard time this past year. Let me tell you, like, starting from January up until now, I have been struggling. Like, that's why I'm so, like, adamant on going to therapy, because I know for a fact, whoever's listening to this, that they have gone through something mental health wise that was not the best, or they're still going through this, and it's really fucking hard. And I I just want to let you guys know, whoever's listening to this, you are not alone, first of all. Second of all, therapy really does help. I promise you that. Like, even if it's one time, if you feel alone, if you feel like you don't know what direction to go into, if you feel like you're not enough, if you feel like you're not doing enough, just go to one therapy session. And if you can't afford it, save up for it, you know? Because I know for a fact that if you have a job, you can save up for it, at least one session. You don't even have to do multiple sessions. That's what I'm saying. Like, just one. Like, even if you do one, just please go. Because so many people, I know so many people who are just like going through so much. Like, it doesn't even have to be like depression, it doesn't have to be anxiety. It could just be like regular shit, you know, like someone in their family is sick, or they live with their parents still, or they are having a hard time with a breakup, or they're a parent and they're really struggling with trying to be themselves while parenting. Like, there's tons of things, like little things too matter. And I think for a really long time I was ignoring that little things matter for myself. I think I was trying to just set aside the little things because I was like, they're not a big deal. Like, they're not crippling me in a way that I have to like stop everything and like really change my life. But they were, like, you know, like me like staying home and not going out, me being invited to places and not wanting to see people, you know. Sure, that I can do that sometimes and that should be okay, but me feeling like doing that all the time, like me wanting to be alone all the time, there was something up with that, you know. And I genuinely had to figure that out because I am extremely introverted, but I'm also extroverted. So I know for me, at least for myself, if I don't want to see people at all for like long periods of time, and I'm getting invited to things and I'm being like asked to like hang out and I'm refusing, there's something wrong. Like, I know that for a fact. So I know myself, and I feel like anyone who's listening to this, you know yourself. You know when you're not okay. You know when you're not feeling the best. You know when something's wrong. Just do what you can to take care of yourself. If you can't afford therapy right now, like I said, save up if you can. And if you can't even do that, please just like try to eat healthier, try to work out. Please go and get some sun, because I was not doing that. It's like really difficult, I know, to like be a person now. It really is. It's really hard to like focus on anything outside of getting your shit together in like the state of the world. And just treat yourself well, treat yourself kind, because we don't have a lot of time on this earth at all. We really don't. I'm thinking about that so much more now because I just lost my grandmother like a month ago, and she was so important to me. She was like probably one of the biggest people who I valued as a person. And I didn't realize how much of a tough time I was having with her death, because I was just like I was really fucking depressed for like 2-3 weeks. And I didn't even realize that I was getting to that point, you know? I didn't realize I was really sad because I would see her and we'd bond, but like, you know, I didn't see her all the time. I didn't see her every day, but I would talk to her almost every day because she was sick. She was sick for a while. But when she passed, I was one of the last people to see her. She passed less than 24 hours from when I saw her. And, you know, it made me realize that like life is really fucking short, and like we can't spend our time hurting ourselves. Even if we're sad, be sad. It's okay to be sad. Even if we're having anxiety, it's okay to have anxiety. Even if we're like feeling depressed, it's okay to feel that way. Just don't let it linger. Don't let any of those things linger for too long. Give yourself a time limit to get better. And if you can't do everything all at once, that's okay. Like, set goals for yourself. Like, some of the things I would do when I was feeling like really sad or like suffering from seasonal depression was like, I would just like take a shower, you know. And I know people say this all the time. I know this is like always what people say, just like do little things, but it's like, it really does work. I promise you it works. just like taking a shower or washing the dishes or like throwing out the garbage or giving yourself a face mask, like washing your hair, like I don't know, getting the mail, like anything that you feel like is something that you don't always want to do, it will help you get to a point. You know, mopping the floors, singing, like even that, like listening to new song, finding new music. Like for me, that really helps. I don't know why, but it does. And if you can manage to take yourself somewhere, take yourself to a place to paint. Where I went was called Color Me Mine. They have them everywhere. They have them in New York. They have them in New Jersey. They have them in other places. You can go. They have them everywhere. They have them in California. Like, they have them everywhere. You can go to that. Take yourself there. They have things that you can paint for like $20 if you can afford it. But just give yourself peace. Go to the park. I know it's cold outside, so I wouldn't necessarily recommend it. But if you like the cold, do that. Take a train somewhere. Like take a bus ride somewhere. Go to, I don't know, go to a supermarket if you want. Go to a concert for free. And if you can't find anything for free, go to a museum, you know, like anything. Go ice skating, do anything. Just like please give yourself something to enjoy outside of your normal shit. And if you have kids, take the kids if you can. If you want to, if you wanted some time alone, see if you can have someone take care of your kid just for a little while, just to give yourself a day or a couple of hours. Not even a day, a couple of hours. You know, even a couple of hours, I promise you, if you're in a funk, it'll help you. Like, buy coloring books. I did that too. I haven't done them yet because, like, I'm like, ugh, I don't want to do that. But, like, you know, buy coloring books, like, bake a cake, like, anything. Just, like, set something aside for you to do for yourself, by yourself, without anyone else. And, like, give yourself that, you know, braid your hair, cut your hair, like, anything. Because it's really fucking important to, like, take care of yourself, especially in this climate where you're always forced to consider everything else outside of how you feel and what you want and what you think and everything, you know? Like, please, just, like, give yourself that grace because life is so fucking short. People die every day. There's horrible atrocities happening in the world right now. And, you know, it's really fucking hard to be a person right now. It really is. And if you can give yourself something to just, like, make you happy once a day, it doesn't even have to be every day, because I know it's hard to do that every day. Do it, please, because I just don't, I know for myself, I don't want to feel like shit. I like feeling like shit sometimes, but, like, that's it. Like, once in a blue. But, you know, I've been trying to find things for myself. So if you can, just do that. And love yourself. At the end of the day, love yourself. I don't give a fuck what you look like. I don't give a fuck who you are. I don't give a fuck where you're from. Please love yourself. Please look at yourself and know that you are worth everything that you want for yourself. Don't be arrogant, because, you know, that's not cool. Don't be fucking greedy, and don't be a bad person, obviously. But, like, please, just love yourself. Just treat yourself well. Because it's not good enough to have other people do it to you. You need to do it to yourself. Look at yourself in the mirror and find something that you love about yourself. Write down things. One thing I learned from my therapist, write down things that you love about yourself. Write down things that you love, that you've done for others, you know. Those are really helpful, and I think it's really important to just, like, find things that'll make you feel great, you know? So that's all I got for today. And I just want to say thank you for listening. I am going to bring on a special guest, hopefully, for the next podcast episode. I'm really hoping they come. I love them so much. I really hope they do come. But yeah, thank you for today's talk. You know, it was really deep and intense. And I hope I got everything that I planned on doing, because, you know, it's hard out here. But thank you. I hope this, like, video comes out clear, just because this fucking light is really bugging me. But I love you guys. Thank you so much. Hopefully you enjoy this podcast episode, and I'll see you next